So let's talk a little bit about what, before we go into the gun control and anything that AWR covered. Ladies and gentlemen, have you seen the video of the woman chasing the car, or in the car chasing the kid on the motorbike in Spokane, Washington, driving over yards? Did you see this video, Greg?
I did. It's
what in the world?
Yeah, I don't know what this lady was thinking, but holy cow!
I guess she was in her 50s. The word Karen comes
Slightly
to
with a
mind,
capital
but
K.
Karen. I mean, those are felonies. So if you see the whole video, let me paint the picture for you. If you haven't seen the video, if you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you haven't seen the whole video. I think many of the news organizations, whatever you want to call them, are running just the part where she comes up on the curb and starts chasing this 10-year-old kid on a motorbike with his helmet on, riding around his neighborhood street. And he's on the sidewalk. And the car does a U-ey, hops the curb, and goes up into the lawns and guns it and starts chasing this kid. Now, to me, that's an instant attempted murder charge. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's a deadly weapon at that point, so you're not wrong.
All right. Well, she doesn't hit him with the car. He skates away from her, meaning he gets away from her. Apparently, and I didn't see this part on video, but what happened is he made it to his home. I guess he ditched the bike and ran in the house. But she was having none of it, Karen. Karen was having none of it. Felonious Karen, we'll call her. Karen Felony. That's what we'll call her. Karen Felony. We'll make her last name Felon for today's show. She was having none of that. So I guess she drove into his yard. She's already in yard. She did go back out in the street, but then she tries to break in his house to catch him.
Oh.
So I think she's copped a burglary charge as well. Now, let's just get the story out of the way first, and then let's talk about it, because it's kind of mind-boggling that there are people out there like this, but they're everywhere. That's why you got to keep your head on a swivel, folks. Apparently, if you're a 10-year-old kid riding a dirt bike in a neighborhood, your own neighborhood in Spokane, Washington. Well, I mean, as crazy as this is, it's Spokane, Washington. She gets charged with crimes, and then no bond, and they just let her go. They let her go.
No bail, huh?
No bail. Nothing.
Oosh.
No bond, no nothing. Just, okay. You're charged with multiple crimes. You used your automobile as a weapon.
Dangerous crimes
to chase a 10-year-old boy on a motorbike. Go ahead. We trust you'll come back. Now, what would have happened if that was Texas?
Well, she would have been taken off the front lawn in a whole different manner.
Yeah, in a bag.
Yeah.
Look, that's where I wanted to go with this, because I just picture myself here, okay?
Old felonious Karen.
If you are attempting to chase a child, anybody, but in this case a 10-year-old child, clearly a child, and you're driving over lawns, going up on the sidewalk and driving over lawns in your attempt to do so, you could easily, at least where I'm at, and I know where you're at, and I know in Florida's got the thump law. You're blocking traffic because you're one of those goofballs that glues your hands, and you can get run over. Mm-hmm. In Florida, they call it the thump law. Why thump? Because, well, most vehicles have two axles. Bump, 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 right? Thump.
That's the
You're
sound
toast.
you make.
Well, you could absolutely, that's a self-defense. That's absolutely, because not only do you have a right to protect yourself, you also have the right to intervene with deadly force if someone else's life is in imminent danger. Now, we're getting ready to take a break. I'll tell you what likely would have happened if that were going on in my lawn or someone else's lawn and I happened to be there and I was armed. I'll tell you, I think you can imagine what would have happened, ladies and gentlemen. And Spokane, Washington, it could have too. While it's Washington and a lot of goofball socialists and a lot of liberals in Washington state that apparently just want to let you go with no bond, my gosh. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about it a little bit more. It's quite fascinating, the different scenarios that might have unfolded in maybe different areas of the country. I don't know. I believe that that's a case of self-defense pretty much anywhere in the country. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. Greg, let's go back to Spokane, because I can tell you now that to me, I'm not a lawyer, but if you're chasing my kid with an automobile through a yard, I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be justified in doing so to save my child's life. There's absolutely no question about that. And I feel pretty certain that any prosecutor that would look at that would agree that that was clearly self-defense because the child's life was absolutely in imminent danger. You got a 3,000-pound automobile with Karen Faloni driving the thing.
Yeah.
You know, obviously chasing him, who swings a U-ey, hops a curb to go across the lawns to get after him in her automobile. That's clearly a case of self-defense. Now, that did not happen in Washington, and this incident unfolded very quickly. I noticed there were some other cars on the street. It looks like one was attempting to kind of try to block her at one point. It didn't work, and there were other people chasing down the street, it looked like. But, you know, there's a lot of people with firearms in Washington State. We know it's a liberal, you know, little bastion out there in the cities. But the rest of that state is very conservative. It's bright red outside the cities. And, you know, dare I say, it wouldn't matter if you were in the city or not. Self-defense is self-defense. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
It doesn't make any difference. Now, again, that did not happen, but I cannot imagine someone using a firearm to stop Karen Faloni in her attempt to run this kid down. That is clearly he is a threat of imminent death and bodily harm, which, as far as I know, in all 50 states means self-defense deadly force is legit. But in a place where they let her go with no bond, I don't know what a prosecutor would think. If they just let you out? I cannot imagine that happening in my neck of the woods, Greg. Can you imagine that happening in and around the Dallas area?
Yeah, absolutely, I could. But I could also see the end result.
Maybe
as
in
what we've
Dallas
already
proper,
described.
right? Maybe in Dallas proper, maybe in Austin or in the cities, but anywhere else? Good heavens. I don't know.
Anywhere else outside of the major markets here in this state, it's not even making the news.
Yeah, you're probably
I'm
right. AWR'd find out about it because what's his old saying? If you're going to be dumb,
Yeah.
don't be dumb in Texas.